Hello, everybody. My name's Tyler, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Wtphu, the podcast where the points don't matter, and I'm playing Pokemon. I'm still Wonder Trading. I'm still playing Pokemon and Wonder Trading as we speak, so I'm hoping this is enjoyable for you guys as it is for me. Because once we get into April or later this month, it's gonna be nothing but Mega Man. Mega Man going up and down the wazoo, and I'm really excited to play Mega Man. I've been playing Mega Man for a long time. That's the update for the channel. Mega Man's going to be a huge contender on the channel while we do things. So for the current moment, we're currently just playing games like Neo, and we're going through the roster of games I've yet to finish, and then we're just going to go from there. That's your. But let me know down in the comments like what kind of games you want me to play, because I have the option to play other Nintendo games and PlayStation games. There are some PlayStation games, Steam games I want to play. I want to get onto Monster Hunter as soon as I can, which is why I'm also like just running through the current like roster of games on my PlayStation of games that I've yet completed. So that's gonna be happening. I guarantee you I want to play Monster Hunter because I already bought Rise. And I want to be in that world again after playing Neo, finishing it. I should be within the next stream at the time of recording. So for the people who are watching in the future, we finished Neo. Woo! And to start off this podcast, the first question is, what mental states do I find myself in, and what will I lose by letting them go? I think this is a very confusing question I'd like to come off to start off with, but let's break up the question first. What mental states do I often find myself in? To be fair, if I were to give you the answer, like I'm anxious, most of the time, if not all the time, then I don't lose anything from losing my anxiety. There's a freedom to being confident. There's a freedom to be just self-aware and confident in what you're doing, because if that's considered a mental state, then I don't want to be anxious anymore. But I will probably say there's like certain switches that people go through. Like I go through a certain switch that correlates with me being similar to that of like a dad energy. So that's what I do. I am in a dad energy kind of mood sometimes. So I'm always serious. I have a very serious attitude when I'm at work, and I would like to goof off. But but when I first started my job at my company, at the company that I work at, being very like loud and obtuse wasn't very good. I don't think that was very good for like the community, for the workspace, and it was just being an annoyance. So I had to really curve how I sound, how I feel at work, because sometimes that work environment doesn't really promote. It's not a great way to promote like certain phases. I'm normally serious. There's almost like no jokes while I'm on the clock until break time. Break time is the time where I goof off often and do things like I'm playing Pokemon while I'm at work, but on my break and my lunch. And that's the time where people can talk to me if they find me. That's the time where people can mess around. But I see a lot of it at work, and I get into like a boomer phase when I see people goofing off like during their like shift. And you can goof off at lunch, you can goof off in break. I can understand that. But there's like certain things that you shouldn't do. I get into cranky dad mode, and I probably would do well without that cranky dad at work. Cranky dad mode at work though, because what would I lose by letting it go? I really wouldn't lose much. But I probably will say I would lose my sense of urgency if I didn't stay serious at work. If I wasn't so very anxious about how things are running, if I am in a situation at work where something might happen, I wouldn't know what to tell you, because I want to be in a situation at work where things are controlled and we are running smoothly. Work can't at this point actually afford us to goof off. So I would like to goof off when I'm scheduled to, but I don't really lose much by not being too by being uh loose. I wouldn't lose much. I would lose my urgency by being by staying serious. I elevate my sense of urgency. By being anxious, I still elevate my sense of urgency because I tend to be very like indecisive sometimes or anxious. It's one of the two, and I don't know where to be at. But I want to be serious at work, so that's what I have to project. That's the mask that I wear while I'm at work. But I do lose, like, what is it? There's a certain amount of enjoyment when I'm so serious, I guess. So I would probably say that if I loosen up just a little bit, I might connect with some more people at work to be like to have an actual community to be around in because my seriousness has been a bit of a problem for myself because I can't relate with people as much, and I want to relate with people at work. Relating with people at work is a thing that I should be conscious of trying to do because that that makes you feel uh, more like grounded at work. And I know it's very hard for people to really think of just because um, that's not a place where you want to be grounded. But um, it's just it's work will either be something you're um, dying from mentally, or you have to find things at work to enjoy to be really appreciative of like what you have. So like if you're always coming and complaining, you're gonna like bring that negative energy to work, and then you're gonna hate your work. So please don't no space for that energy. I want a good, neutral, serious, funny tone of work, but I don't want it to be very like, haha. I don't know. I don't know how I was supposed to answer that question, but that's that's kind of rough for me to be honest. And the next question is, when was the first time I lied to myself? When I thought everybody liked me. But that's so sad. Why do you have that as a question? When was the first time I lied to myself? Um if I have to be vulnerable here, it would probably be like I've beat this drum before. My mom and I don't have a really good relationship at home when I was growing up, so I think the first lie would be that she did everything out of love. And she did, but the reality is like she needed help. She didn't My mom didn't have a good way to like manage her stress and or express emotions and express like ideas. That was a problem for her, and I don't know what's going on here. Do I have any other cadets? Okay, I have a there's a cadet I can trade. I don't know why he's down there, but I want a cadet. But I would have to say like there was a lot of like choices my mom made that I I tried to tell myself and believe that it was my fault. It was probably some of those like the common lies that you tell yourself when you're young and when your parents get angry is like the lies would be, oh, I made my mom angry. It's my fault. Oh, I should have listened. Whether I don't, it doesn't. Sure, maybe it sounds weird, but blaming myself was the first lie that I think I made to myself because there was a lot of mistakes that I have done, yes, but at the same time there were other things that my mom could have done better to in order to like the whole idea of shifting blame or like making everything the kid's fault is a no-no. So I'm under the impression a parent should convince their kid that if something happens out of their control, that is the parent's fault, not their fault. But I don't know because I'm not a parent yet. Who's to say? But I will say, lying to myself that my mom meant well was probably a thing that I had to, I had to believe. I had to believe something to get through that. Um, but do you understand, everyone who's listening? Um, it is not your fault for your mom or dad to react a certain way. Uh, my mom was physical for a time whenever she got angry, and it was her fault. I have to accept that it was her fault. It wasn't my fault that it turned out that way. She had the choice, and she should have learned to calm herself down from that situation. But that didn't happen because that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a cultural thing in Vietnam, I guess, because uh, it's really rough. Um, Lying to myself about those kind of things when you're younger, that happens often. When you're a kid, you rush, but lying to yourself is not also your fault as well, because when you're a kid and your parents are going through something, and then when they get unreasonable, you have to rationalize that, oh, maybe it is your fault that they're angry, or that they chose to do things to discipline, and you have to convince yourself that maybe it is your fault when you're younger. But no, no, kids need to be cherished and loved, and I want you to understand that if you had a past, understand that it wasn't your fault, that you had a better way to learn it. And yeah, I didn't expect to get that question in the end, but that's why I love shuffling these cards. Um, I I answer these questions from the ant space, and I love that this particular deck is about learning, is about the self analysis, and rather than pay for therapy, I'm making a podcast to really talk about these uh, reflective questions. So hopefully you guys are with me for the along for the ride, and I'm doing my best to be there for you too. So we're at the end of the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you liked it, please make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel and follow me. There's a few new people following on the spot on Spotify or Anchor, and that's pretty cool. Thank you so much. Hope you guys can get an audio format of these videos in the foreseeable future. I don't know. I'm actually scared to put a video component because I'm playing Pokemon at the time of recording. Well, so if you're on YouTube, you get to watch all this. You get to watch all the trading that I'm doing. You get to enjoy what I'm doing if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're listening on Spotify, know that it's safe. There's no Pokemon audio. Nintendo, please do not sue me for this content, and we'll have to go from there. So in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you liked it. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you subscribe and follow. And as always, my name's Tyler. I'm your friend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.